Hi there, I'm Robert Duzik, and what you just see right now, that was our trailer, what we put together with my friends from Heavyocity, just to give you some highlights in the preview, what DAMAGE MACHINA is and actually what's inside. But in this video, I want to talk more about the story behind the Machina, how everything comes together, about my relationships with the guys, how we collaborate in other projects, how I break in this business, and give you some tips and the highlights of the recordings, show you some very unique footages from the behind the scenes. So hope you're gonna enjoy this video. So let's have fun. My inspiration to capture all these mechanical sounds and all these gears, it's come pretty much from my personal demand for uniqueness. I quickly realized to be like composer and the producer, if you want to standing out and break in the business, you have to come with something different, with something unique. And the only way to stay on top of this thing, it's basically like by grabbing your recordings, starting recording your own stuff and bring them and overdub with other samples what I was using. This inspired me to go and starting recording all mechanical sounds and gears and try implementing them in my tracks, and this was made them standing out and grab a lot of people's attentions, and because of that I get a lot of success in the trailer world and TV shows and working with some big name composers. Most of the machines what I capture, they are only available right now to go and see them in the museum or in the, like some private collections. So I hope you're gonna find the sounds very useful. When I was approaching the sounds and recordings of all these machines, I have like a different criteria and almost like two different groups how I gonna capture the sound. First of all, if there was machine, I wanna make sure I gonna capture the natural movement and natural rhythms that coming from the machine, because some of the loops what we make in the Machina, they actually come from actually authentic loops and authentic sequence of the machine. Because you know, if you have steam or pressing machine, there is the gears, what the working, kind of making sense when you see how this thing's working. So we want to make sure the loop will be creating based on the sequence, convert them and make them playable and your BPM tempo. So there was two criteria. One of them, make sure there's some rhythmic. And the second thing, I was looking to try to isolate individual elements of the sequence, what was going on, whatever the elements was coming into the sound. I want to make sure I will have separate sounds of just the slowly moving gears, or the starting the sequence of the machine, or any metal clangs, or other things to do. So there's a lot of process what I have to do, but I think so I did right, because everything in the final products right now sounds beautiful and give you the more flexibility, and basically it's like you have unlimited potentials how you want to using them right now. It basically you can control how the machine is going to sound and the tempo and the motion and the machine. And look, do the sounds and the rhythms are perfect? No, they're not, because none of the machines repeating themselves. Even the sounds repeating the same when you listen, it's not. Every sound, every cycle when they're going, every click is a little bit different. So is my sounds, you know, and so is the humans. And I think so this was adding so much value, but not be perfect, because we all know perfect is boring. But having the authentic sound of these machines and the movement and the glitches and whatever the sound's going, it's the machine, it's the natural sound. So sometimes even if the sound is louder or something, it's only because this is how the machine perform in this moment, and I really want to capture the sound. And if it's kind of like with the little noise, I decide to keep some of the noises, only because noise is a part of the character of the sounds, you know what I mean? And I just don't want to kill this everything. I want to preserve all the sounds to be most authentic for you, and this will be sound realistic. I know over the years a lot of you guys ask me in my comments and the videos what I post on my social media, what is the plugins I'm using, whatever I'm using, what's the processing I'm using. It's overall, you can basically just say, what is the secret sauce, if there's anything like this exists. No, it's no any secret sauce. Guys, I'm not using anything what you can have it and when you can use it. Might as well, you can watch my videos and you can see I show step by step in my videos how I use my stuff and what I'm using. I think so the secret sauce, if you want to call this thing, will be basically paying attention to the details of the sounds. try record them the best way you can and get the closest you get to the source, and try use the best gear, whatever you can, to recording. The other thing, like, I don't use any EQs. I stay away from the EQ of my sounds because I really believe if I'm gonna start boosting this frequency, the sounds what I just captured there will be just not sound authentic anymore, you know? So this is why I'm very careful with using any noise reduction, because if I'm gonna use noise reduction, it's come with the price. Again, I'm gonna cut some of the frequency out, and the sound what I just captured, they will be just don't sound authentic. So I prefer come back when it's maybe more quiet time, or just do retakes and take multiple takes and just pick up the best takes. Some of the most challenges when I have recording, there was actually going to my friend's shop where they have all collection of like big variety of the CNC machines, and when I try recording them, I don't want to just recording just the sound of the machine. I want to actually recording the machine when they're doing the physical work, when they're working on something. So when you're working on something, you know, the scrap metals was falling off when the machine is working. And that was kind of dangerous, because I remember when I was going to technical engineering school in Poland, a lot of times these pieces was hitting my hand, or the very hot, you get a little burn. So I think that was the most challenging and most dangerous. Like, besides like wearing safety glasses, it's one thing, you know, but things sometimes going wrong. So just have to be very careful. But on top, you want to get the closest to the source you want, because all these cooling systems, when they come, the liquid, you know, I want to capture this thing and have this in the sound. So I think so that was the most challenge, you know. And besides, when you're recording and it sounds mechanical of the machine, especially the big machines, they're moving. It's no stop emergency button, especially at the angle where I come in when I'm recording them. Let's talk for a moment about the gears I choose to capturing this sound, because I think so you want to know this thing, and it's an important thing to share my process with you, not only what I was recording, but how I was capturing the sound. So I have two different setups. One setup is in my studio when it's always stay, and I'm using my different portable stuff when I'm going on the location. Because when I on the location, I'm just a one-man show, you know, like there's no one else to help me. I'm the one who's filming this video, and I'm the one who recording the sounds and perform the sounds at the same time. So a lot of times I just bring my camera, put in the tripod, use remote control, press record, it's an autofocus. I know I'm filming, so anything else I do right now, I have to perform on my own. It means I have to control all my recording gears, and at the same time, I have to go and performing the sounds. So I come with this idea of the concept to creating one system where I basically using Porta Capture Tascam X8 or X6, when I just attach my shotgun microphone directly under, and I connect Go phone right here to add more low frequencies, and I offset, you know, I have 4-position microphone, and how I say before, how I'm mixing stuff, it's all making sense. So basically, camera's recording me, one hand it's holding my recording gear, and I'm pointing what I want to recording, like example, like right here, I can place, and my right hand, it's free to performing all these sounds. By the way, the adding machine, it's actually in the DAMAGE Machina, so you can have all these beautiful sounds and this instrument. So that's the recording setup when I'm using, when I'm going on the location. When I'm at home and when I'm recording in my studio right here, what you see in my video, it's a little bit different story. Here I have my setup like right here when you see in my videos, when I'm using 2 pair of Earthworks microphones, either QTC50 or QTC40. I'm recording them. Then I use most of the times like 2 Contax microphones from Live Audio with the field amps right here, and everything is connected directly to my Tascam Porta Capture X8, and connecting Go phone just to get low frequency, and using this my center microphone, and this is Yoshi Pro mic, and it's come from the Live Audio, when I basically attach to very close whatever I want with the sounds. And if you ask the gooseneck, it's custom make, you know what I mean. I grab this from the pop-up vocal filter and just attach this little clamp, attach right here. So that's my setup in the studio, what's never move. And this give me the freedom of position microphones wherever I want, and find the sweet spot. And I have two hands right now to performing my sounds. So it means I can hold the machine, map, or do more aggressive different sounds too. So that's my home setup. So there's two different setups what I'm using. If there was any specific, like particular gear what I was using recording and what was most important to me, there will be probably my center microphone, and that was either the Yushi microphone or the shotgun microphone. When I was getting the closest I can get to the source of the sound, because that's the microphone what's going directly was pointing at the source, and that was very important to me because that's the mic what give the most details. But I gotta say, the biggest surprise what I get in the sounds after was coming by using the Live Audio contact microphones with the field amp when I was attaching to metal, all these metal machines. Because if you look close right here, there it's a lot tiny mechanical gears and mechanical springs, and when you're moving all these sounds, all these springs starting to resonate and generating beautiful harmonic tones. What I basically I don't hear them, because when this thing was covered with this old plastic, when you're using this original machine, it's covered, you don't hear this stuff because the muff and it's pretty quiet. But the moment you strip down, you open these machines, you start hearing all these details. So by attaching all these contact microphones and boost the signal, you actually capture these springs and all this gear in the massive way like you never hear before. And post-production flexibility, especially if you record 192 kilohertz, sky is just a limit. You can pitch them down, you slow them down, do whatever you want. And from tiny little spring, you can make the sounds massive. What you're gonna have proof of this in DAMAGE MACHINA when you're gonna listen some of the sounds and you say, wow, how they did this. Basically, it's easy. It's well recording stuff by very micro recording. The way how I record, pretty much, it's almost like a photographer going with the micro lens, focusing on the one little things at the time. And this is what I did. I take a time and I focus on the one little thing, and I try recording this to like perfection with the most details I get in the sound. And you be the judge, but I think I did it right. I think I did good. When I was recording all the sounds, and it's a journey. That was not record everything over like a 1 session, 2 week session. Like usually when you go to like studio, you rent a studio and you spend 2 weeks recording samples, then you spend 6 months or more editing them. No, I recording them just how I say, for my passion, for my personal need, and there was multiple months, days and years of the recordings, and I never think about releasing them. There was always a record because I want to use them for my personal use, for my trailer collection libraries and other sound design when I was working custom for the composers. But I know a lot of people was asking me online after see my videos where they can get the sounds, if they'll be ever available. And I always say no, because I don't think so I was ready, and otherwise I don't want to just release like another library what will be just the sound effects, because sound effects for me is just a dead sample. You're getting stereo file and what next? That's it. It's just a sample. My vision was to give you the most flexibility and possibility with the sounds, basically having engine when the sound's gonna get additional life and you're gonna have the control of the sound. So in order to do this, I choose to collaborate with Heavyocity, and there was no brainer, guys. We have a long, very long, good friendship and relationship with the guys. I remember the first time when I heard Evolve, and that was 2008 when the guys released, and I was like, whoa, what is this thing? And I was just the days when I tried breaking and they're like cinematic trailer words. So when you hear something like this, my mind was just like completely blown away. So I know I'm going to the name show following months, and I find out that Heavyocity will be in the name show. So I decide go and introduce myself to the guys and just tell them how great library they produce. I find them on the basement floor. So for any one of you who ever been in the name show, you know the basement floor is the startup, new upcoming company who right now they become huge, successful, but you have to start somewhere. So Heavyocity was like a group of 3 guys where they've been basically just downstairs, and I find them. And here is the picture of me together with 2 of the founders, was Neil and Dave. And there's one more guy, Ari. Unfortunately, he was the younger. He had to take the picture, but here's all of us together with Ari. And we met, but there was never discussion about anything else. A year later, I approached the guys on the name show again, and this time I have my demo tracks, my compositions, and my CD Walkman player. And I stop the guys in the hallway, say, hey, could you listen to this? And they listen, and they say, we should talk more. We have something coming new, you know, and they told me like, we're gonna work in the new Evolve. And I think so you will be interesting to hear this, what we have, and maybe if you wanna, we can collaborate together. I say, no brainer. I say yes. So I come back home, I get email from guys, and a week later I was in New York in the studio, and we started talking what we can do, and we started doing recording session, and very quickly we all realized that's not going to be Evolve, that's going to be massive drum library. And this is how original Damage was born. After that, I collaborate with guys with other projects, and of course the latest Damage 2 release. And for me, there was no brainer. Go and release my sounds with Heavyocity, because I know what this guy's capable. I know Damage engine. I know what they did before. I know how they're thinking. We understand each other, and that's the reason why we collaborate and a lot of other projects together. We know the quality sounds, we know what we've been looking for, and we trust each other. That's the most important thing. If anyone is going to do this the right way, there will be Heavyocity. And I was not disappointed when they sent me first beta version to testing. I was like, whoa. And guys did exactly what I was expecting. So I'm very proud to say, you know what I mean, and feel like whatever I record, it's under the label of the Damage, and it's released by Heavyocity. Even I did recording of most of the sounds, there is one specific patch, and that it's pinball machine. What I actually regret, I don't have a chance to go to the Dave house, record these sounds, but he did, and he did a great job. And the sounds, the Damage Machine, and I'm glad they make it in. My only request with Heavyocity and my expectation was to make sure you guys will be preserve the sounds the most authentic way, the way how I capture them. It's mean I say right from the beginning, guys, please don't add any additional EQ. Don't make them the sounds much more pretty, much more like glassy, like art, like whatever the glaze, anything to make them sound even bigger. I say no. I say I really want the sounds to be sound pure, authentic, and if there will be some sounds when there will be like a hybrid combined with something, I'm okay with that. But even in this section, please keep the sounds in the authentic form, whatever I record them, because I want to give people in post-productions and the composers and the mix engineer the most room to play with the sounds on their own, because I know each of you guys will be add you additional flavor on the sounds to make the sounds to blend and mix them well with your production, whatever you're doing. So my request was, and the guys agree with me, just to preserve the sounds authentic way, put them in the engine the way how I record them. And if have to be like some technical stuff done with the sounds, then yes, to do. Otherwise, overall, as a shape of the waveform of everything, I ask to preserve them the most authentic way it's possible, and the guys did it. So I'm very happy with the final results, and guys, thank you so much for listening to me and respect my wish. If there is any my favorite sounds what's come in the Machina, and there's a lot of them. I love them all because I record them all, so of course they're all my babies. I would say when I started play with all these patches, I think so. The patch is called as like invading of typewriters, something like this. But guys, their sound is not just imagine you play your keyboard and play, and this is like massive amount of the typewriters machine that can play and the same BPM it's almost like an attack of each on the individual key at the same time, and you can create these amazing textures of rhythms just using these keys and play with the velocity. It's just so much fun. Even like I love like the big bombastic sounds, but trust me, the typewriter sounds massive and you're gonna feel the earthquake on them. And to playing with them, I think so. That was like my favorite sound. I think so. I call right away Dave and I say, Dave, this is really cool. He's like, you know, that's the way pretty much how I was playing before. But the guys make this and the program even more flexible and more musical way than I was using, and I really enjoy. So definitely the typewriter sounds, they're like my favorite things inside. And now the Damage Machina, it's out. If I will change anything in my process of the recordings, I would say no. I'm really happy how the Machina sounds. It's the same way how I was recording 3 years ago, a week ago. I'm still using the same technique and I'm recording this way the same way. So no, I don't change anything. I really like how the sounds and the end tune out. Let's talk about a little bit tips or ideas, the way how I'm using personally Damage Machina. One of my favorite way that how I use is I'm using this with Damage 2. Stacking them together, it just gives you so much different variety and rhythm and pulse to your tracks. Even just using like Damage Machina and use with any pulse instrument with some kind of cool arpeggiator going, like a bass line or something. The other way, you know what I mean, I like a lot of times using cutoff filters and Machina. So basically if you play original Damage drum groove and you have slowly from using cutoff filter opening the same kind of different groups going over the Damage group going from Damage Machina slowly opening, you're gonna see how you're adding so much new character to the original Damage and the sound just become richer, more interesting and more unique. So that's the way how I will be used. And of course you can use this in the reverse. Use cutoff filter, you know what I mean, and open the frequency and Damage and just keep the Damage Machina. So basically you're adding the punch, drum punch undergoing. So there's a lot of way, and I'm sure if you're a composer, you already know these tricks and you experiment with this thing and you know it works. Now I would like to end this video with share with you a couple advices, you know what I mean, something what during my life career works for me, and I really believe it will be work for you too. To break in this business, it's not really hard. Do you need a little bit luck? Yes, but I always say the most important what you need is just to be yourself and be nice. Be a nice person, you know, you have to learn how to work with people. Don't ever think like you are the best and you're the only one. No, that it's never like that. It's always gonna be someone who possible it's gonna do a better job than you. But the reason why people gonna choose working with you, because you're easy to work with, because you're nice. The second advice I will give you, whatever you do, whatever you post online, whatever you want to share with people, show what you do, always try do your best work. You never know who's gonna see your work, and one phone call, one message from this person who will be interesting might gonna change your life. So remember, whatever you're gonna post online, make sure it's the best thing you can and whatever the best thing you want to show. So guys, thank you so much for watching this video. The Damage Machina, it's finally out. I hope you enjoy a little behind the scenes what I talk about. And yes, I know there's a lot of videos already online, people showing Damage Machina. There is videos from Heavyocity, walkthrough, presets, everything. If you wanna, you can go check this thing. But with me, it's basically what you see, this is what you get. And this is what I wanna show you today. So guys, thank you again for watching this video, and hope you decide to go check Damage Machina. All right, until now, thank you, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.